We ask you to stand for the national anthem and for the opening prayer, please.
As we approach the festival of Shavuot, help us to remember that each generation must stand at Mount Sinai and take on the obligations of Torah, of living Jewishly, and of continued study. This must be a yearly choice, a daily choice, of choosing life, of nurturing the Eitz Chaim, the tree of life which grows in our lives and in our souls. This evening we take delight in the realization that a blessed group of our younger generation have, with conscientious devotion and praiseworthy distinction, diligently pursued and successfully completed their course of Jewish studies in our schools. We pray that as a result of the knowledge they have acquired, they may be inspired to uphold with courage, pride, and dignity the eternal teachings of our Torah and the immortal ideals of our faith. May they continue to drink in joy from the living waters, Mayim Chayim, of our heritage in the years that lie ahead, thereby enriching themselves and contributing towards reconsecrating Israel as the people of the book and an Am Kadosh, a holy people. And let us say Amen.
Welcome to the graduation exercises for the class of 1998, Tufkin Nun Tech. Mari.
On behalf of the graduating class of 1998, I welcome you this evening. We will begin our graduation ceremony tonight by davening the Mari service together. We would like to introduce tonight's service with the following reading. Face the eternal every moment. It is not only that we should know before whom we stand. We face the eternal every moment we live. We stand before God in every action we take.
The presence of the Lord fills the whole world. His glory is everlasting. There is no place in the heavens or the earth that is not holy.
There is no moment in time that is not sacred, no aspect of existence that does not bear the seal of godliness.
If we would open our eyes, we would recognize, as did Jacob of old, that the gateway to heaven is wherever we stand.
It is to open our eyes to the holiness everywhere about us and the godliness within us that we gather in this house of prayer.
Here we renew those bonds which link us to our people and our faith.
Here we seek to glimpse the total dimension of human life, to sense the drama that is Judaism and the role of prophets, poets, and sages in fashioning that drama.
Here we are reminded of those who dedicate their lives to the sacred task
of guiding us to an ever fuller appreciation of those values which exalt life. Out of the fullness of our hearts, we give thanks for the privilege of sharing in this service.
We now begin the Maariv service. Please rise.
We thank you, God, for bringing on the evening dusk. You have created a world with order, with wisdom, and with understanding. You have created day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness away from light.
We continue with the first bracha before Kriyat Shema, praising God for his gift of creation. Followed by the second bracha before the Shema, acknowledging God's gift of Torah as a sign of his love. Chai b'Kayam, T'midim L'charim Yeram V'Aretz, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Ha'ravi. Ha'achad Hashemini Le'olamim, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema We affirm with the singing of Nichamocha that he is our God and that there is no other. We are his people and he is our Redeemer. We continue with the first bracha after the Shema, praising God as eternal Redeemer of the people Israel. Devi our God to lie down in peace, so teach us that peace means more than quiet. Remind us that if we are to be at peace at night, we must take heed how we live by day. Grant us the peace that comes from honest dealing, so that no fear of discovery will haunt our sleep. Rid us of resentments and hatred, and strive us of the peace we crave. Liberate us from enslaving habits which disturb and give us no rest. May we inflict no pain, bring no shame, and seek no profit by another's loss. May we feel no remorse at night for what we have done during the day. May we lie down in peace tonight and awaken tomorrow to a richer and fuller life.
We continue with the Hashivani prayer.
As we turn to the Mari's Amidah, we continue with the Chati Kadesh. The Amidah is said silently in the evening. Please rise. conclude the leader with the singing of the Schechter, followed by the Kaddish Shalom and the Elena.
Yikada, Vikada, Shemiraba, Samadiva, Sutera, Mikmahusay,
taught us to remain standing.
Our graduation exercises continue with greetings from the Federation of Greater Dallas. I'm very pleased to call on Mrs. Carol Hoppenstein, the incoming chair of the Jewish Education Department. Schechter has some very strong and fine ties with the Teachers Learning Center and the Jewish Education Department, and we're delighted to welcome you this evening. Mrs. Hoppenstein.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here on behalf of the Jewish Federation of Greater Dallas to congratulate you on your accomplishments and to celebrate with you the culmination of this very important chapter in your life. You can certainly take a lot of pride in what you have accomplished as far as building a strong foundation for not only Judaic studies, but for your general studies as well. You really make for a very well-rounded individual, I think, with a strong zest for life, and we're just so proud to be a part of this tonight. Even as we close this chapter in your life tonight, you will immediately turn the page and open a new chapter in your life, and we hope that those years ahead will be filled with many years of study and learning, so that you will, in fact, learn even more and appreciate even more your fine Jewish heritage and all the things in the world around us. So we wish you well. A very special mazel tov to the honored graduates and to the parents and families of the graduates. Thank you.
To introduce our speaker for this evening, Mrs. Susie Rosenzweig, who is the new administrator and your teacher, K through 8. Years ago, Rabbi Jordan Offshire came to Dallas, Texas, and Congregation Sheriff Israel. But over these last 20 years, he has not served as just Sheriff Israel. He also became an active and important member of the Solomon Schechter community. Whether visiting classrooms, attending bar bat mitzvahs, helping administrators determine appropriate school policy for our conservative day school, or offering support to both adults and students in various kinds of need, Rabbi Offshire has always made himself available to those at Solomon Schechter. It is only fitting that this year, in the year of Schechter's official separation from Sheriff Israel, and the last year before becoming Rabbi Emeritus, it is only fitting that Rabbi Offshire address our graduates. For, after all, students and rabbi alike are embarking on wonderful new adventures. While they will be greatly missed, their contributions will never be forgotten by those who have loved and appreciated them so. So without further delay, I give you Rabbi Jordan Offshire.
Thank you, Susie, very much. I want to begin my very, very brief remarks because we do not have one speaker. We have 24. Did I get the number right this time? You said 23, though. 24. To begin first by saying Dr. Koch to all of you. I've known many of you since you were very young children, and a special pleasure to see you here filling in those white gowns so maturely and so comfortably and so gracefully. So congratulations to all of you on what you've achieved. Congratulations to all the parents and to all of the teachers and administrators of the school. It's a moment of great joy and fulfillment, and it's a moment that we should savor and have great pleasure in. Very briefly, let me share with you the following. Many of you I know the name of Moshe Ibn Ezra. He was a medieval poet, a paitan, a philosopher, a biblical exegete, and a profoundly great thinker and so well thought of through many years of Jewish history. Ibn Ezra observed the following, and I say it to you, the graduates, I want you to think about it, and I'll take just a few minutes to draw out some of its implications. He observed that those who do not accept upon themselves the light burden of education, of consequence, accept upon themselves the heavy burden of ignorance. Those who do not accept the light burden of education accept by consequence the heavy burden of ignorance. Of ignorance, right. Is that right? That's right. The sad thing is that all too many Jewish people who are otherwise knowledgeable, attorneys and physicians, very well-educated people, seem, on the one hand, to apply that principle to their lives in general education, but not in Jewish education. They act as if the burden of Jewish education were indeed the heavy one, when indeed the burden of ignorance, of Jewish ignorance, is really the heavy burden. And all of you and your parents, I really know, appreciate that the burden is the light one. Consider throughout Jewish history, it's been only those who really care who have struggled to remain Jews. The ones who gave up their Jewishness very easily, almost always, were the ones who knew less and therefore cared the least. The ones who really cared are the ones who struggled to remain Jews, in spite of everything. And we look to you, quite honestly, to be among those that will struggle and want to continue to remain Jews. You're going out into the larger world, into all kinds of different schools, in high school and in college. You may not have thought about it, but when you go out about your Jewish friends and brothers and sisters, you will be among the most knowledgeable of them. When they want to know about Judaism, they will ask you. You may not think you know that much, but relatively you do and you will. And they will be the ones that will come to you for Jewish knowledge. I first acknowledge what you learned, but urge you to remember that that burden of education, of Jewish education, which is very light, is continuing. One doesn't ever stop learning. And being a knowledgeable Jew is a lifetime process of confronting the issues of Jewish life, of Jewish learning, of Jewish conviction, even as it must be for all of you. And lastly this, because we are going to hear from all of you surely as well. This is not only the time of Matan Torah. This isn't only the time of the giving of the Torah at the time of Shavuot, but the rabbi said that the Torah that was given on Mount Sinai then is accepted by each Jewish person into your hearts and souls and lives at all times. The giving of the Torah was a one-moment event, but the receiving of the Torah is an ongoing process from then until now. And in that light, the rabbi said that all of us, in some wonderful spiritual sense, stood at Mount Sinai and continue to receive the Torah into our lives. Please remember Ibn Ezra as you think about what it means to be Jewish, as you embark on the larger world, the next chapter, as Caroline Hoppenstein suggested, of your lives, and the light burden of Jewish education, which is a pleasure and a blessing, and may it always be. And to parents and grandparents, lastly, and to all of you who are here, I say Yasher Koach, to seeing your children through graduation at Solomon Schechter. Please, as they go on to life now, they haven't completed the process. It's really now, as they become young adults, that they must continue their Jewish education. wherever it is they are able to do so that they will indeed be, in the words of that wonderful verse that graces the main building of Solomon Schechter, they will be our builders. And we will, as a variation on the theme of the Chalutzim, we will be built and we will build through them. For they are our future in the best sense. And we look for wonderful things from them, but only if they expect wonderful things, Jewishly and in every way, from themselves. Zahayom Tzidinolo, Nagila v'Nisrochabo. This indeed is a wondrous time and a wondrous moment. Let us bask in the accomplishment, the pleasure, and the joy. Thank you very much.
I don't know what 23 speeches sound like, but we're about to find out. And I, who had the opportunity to listen or to read, did not. I can only tell you, as someone who was privileged to teach each and every one of these young people this year, that you're in for something quite special and different each from the other, although together they make a wonderful, wonderful symphony. The Order of Teachers. I invite Shelley Banjo.
As the saying goes, nothing is ever permanent but change. This quote precisely describes my feelings about leaving Solomon Schechter. I realize that the world is changing around me, and that I, in turn, must respond to these changes. While the little girl who loves to play with Barbies is shouting for me to stay, the maturing young woman who loves to talk on the phone and meet new people is crying to get out of the secure, sheltered environment, to try new things and pursue new interests. My mind is torn between crying and rejoicing, and as I finish this year, I realize that it is okay to do a little bit of both. Until this year, it didn't occur to me how much the school and the people in it mean to me. How I've taken numerous things for granted. I started to think of what life would be like without the teachers who cared so much for me and helped me grow. I wondered how I could survive without the friendships with my fellow classmates, whom I could always count on to care when I had a problem, or even just to give me a hug when I looked upset. This separation reminds me of a song my mother used to sing to me when I was a young child. It is called Shema Nuget. Now that I'm older, I realize how much meaning this song really has. Hashishma Kali, Yachadi Shali, Hashishma Kali, Basher Ncha, Kol Kira Ba'oz, Kol B'cha B'dni, Ima'al Luzman Mitzvav Shachar, Tavel Zoraba Izachim Barad, Mitzvot Rodak, Mitzvot La'ad, Mivakesh Adam Ach Teshwat Ragad, Lo Yichal Yivasher Et Asher Avad. Will you hear my voice, my distant one? Will you hear my voice wherever you are? A voice calling strongly, a voice filled with joy, blessing you forever and ever. This world is great and its many paths. Meet for a moment, part forever. Man seeks, his feet stumble. He cannot find what he has lost. All of us will soon go through a vital change in our lives. The memories that I have shared with everyone will hold a never-ending place in my heart. I hope the school will forever hear my voice and never forget, just as I will never forget you.
I invite Tracy Bear to come.
Welcome aboard Solomon Schechter cruise line. Passengers will experience a sheltered world filled with warmth, love, kindness, and care. Our ship glows with feelings of comfort and assurance over soothing waters, embracing each passenger with a sense of togetherness and memories that will last a lifetime. As our ship sets sail, the journey back through time begins, one that will never be forgotten. At 18 months of age, I took my first step aboard Solomon Schechter cruise line. Crew member Lois Davidson offered sweet, delightful greetings as she welcomed me onto the crew deck. I sensed I was entering a place where I could blossom and grow in a safe, protected environment. I can still recall so many things. The smell of freshly baked challah turning a golden brown, learning to paint with splashes of color, understanding what it means to be Jewish, making new friends while sharing laughter, songs, school Shabbat, and fun-filled times. Each of these memories remains fresh and pure throughout my soul. The endurance of warm gleaming sun rays spilling onto the deck brightens the past to our future. I was soon promoted to the elementary deck. It was here I was given the opportunity to learn new things and share ideas with other inspired passengers. I remember first learning to read books and write cursive. Math was a challenge, but the delight of snack time allowed us to relax our minds. The memories of learning Hebrew, playing games, and enjoying special holidays have always lingered in my mind. Truly, Sa'arei Tzedek. Solomon Schechter has opened the gates of justice for me. The many valuable lessons of life I learned on the elementary deck have taught me to become a confident human being in understanding myself and the world around me. At the end of 4th grade, I reached my way up to the next level of the ship. I gazed down below me, proud to have risen this far. I had now become a part of the highest, most honored deck of all, the middle school deck. The surrounding fresh open air allowed me to gaze far across the sea towards my final destination. Now that my inspirational journey aboard Solomon Schechter cruise line is slowly coming to an end, I know that taking my first step off the ship will mean leaving my childhood behind. I have grown up on board with many everlasting friendships. Despite the fact that we will now be going our own separate ways, we will cherish our shared memories forever. This is my last night on the ship, the night when I honor the captain, officers, crew members, fellow passengers, and my parents, the travel agents, for their splendid jobs on board. I would like to take the opportunity to thank all my outstanding teachers and rabbis for providing me with an exceptional education in Jewish background. A special thanks to my wonderful friends for always being there as we shared memories and laughs that I will never forget. I will miss you all. Finally, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to my family for giving me the opportunity to sail with the finest cruise line in the world, Solomon Schechter.
I invite Daniel Richmond.
This year, all of you 8th grade students at Solomon Schechter Academy must make a decision that will greatly affect the outcome of our lives. Since most of us have been at SSA for a good portion of our lives, it will be very hard to say goodbye to all of the friends that we have made. Some of the friendships that have been established over the last decade will survive. The others will surrender their power to the separation of friends. Our hopes as friends is that even though we will be separated as physical beings, our souls will forever bond. Leaving SSA will be one of the hardest things most of us have done on our short time on this earth. The decisions for high school have also been difficult ones. Some of us will continue to learn in a private school, while others will go to a public school. We will miss the Jewish side of school because we will either be in a school with no religion, or perhaps even offer another type of parochial environment. Second period will all be spent in a classroom and not in a synagogue. We will miss Miss Riverband dancing to the delight of the children the last Shabbat of every month. We will miss the buddy classes, the field days, and the countless hours that we have all spent laughing together. And we must continue to go on, to keep acquiring knowledge
while putting the information that we already have into good use. As I stand here tonight and look at my peers, I am thankful. I am thankful that I was grown up in a community so close and so caring. One just doesn't realize how much he has until it's gone. I want to thank my teachers for nudging me through the gates of knowledge and never letting me settle for anything less than I was capable of achieving. I would also like to thank my parents for sending me here and giving me a look into all my options for the future. And most importantly, for always being there and looking out for me. To my friends who have stuck beside me for the past decade, thank you. You are the most supportive bunch of people I know. From our earliest preschool days, we have sang a song which sums up the SSA feeling. Sine my provo manayim, selet achim gam yachad. How good and pleasant it is for people to dwell together.
Ben Austin returns this year for his senior year at Schechter.
I went to Solomon Schechter from the 1st to the 4th grade. After my 4th year at Schechter, I left to go to public school. At first, this change was fine, and I was having a good time. But the summer before 8th grade, I realized that I wanted to go back to Schechter. I asked my parents if I could return, and after a few days of discussion, they agreed to let me come back. Throughout the year, people have been asking me why I came back to Schechter. I didn't really know the answer to that until now. During my 7th grade, I really didn't have a good time at public school. There was no sense of community, and I didn't have any close relationships. It was then that I realized I belonged at Schechter. I realized that I missed the closeness that exists here. Although it sounds corny, Schechter really is like a family to me, and I feel that the best part of my life has been developed here. I've truly been happy here, and I have absolutely no regrets in returning. If I had it to do all over again, I would make the same decision. Coming back to Schechter was probably the smartest move of my life. I got to know everybody really well, and I became closer than I'd ever been to any group of friends before. I don't know what I'm going to do without everyone who is standing next to me today. It recently hit me that next year will be really different. I probably won't be as close with most of these people. This thought really scares me. I've talked to a lot of people about this, however, and I have finally realized that every single student in the 8th grade will be a part of me forever, and I will never forget them. As Theodore Herzl once said, "Im Tirtzu Angel Agada. If you will it, it is no dream." This quote is the story of my return to Schechter. I really wanted and needed to come back to Schechter. I kept trying to convince my parents, and I knew that I wouldn't give up until they let me return. It turned out that not giving up on my dream was the best thing that ever happened to me. I would like to thank all of my friends and teachers for making this year such a special one for me. I hope that all of my friends know how lucky they are to have gone to school at Solomon Schechter. It's a unique and wonderful place. This has been the best year of my life, and I will miss you all.
Our next speaker is Stacy Massa.
A mother bird waits for her eggs to hatch. When the time is right, the eggs open, and baby birds quit for their mama, trying to learn, waiting for their turn to fly. My move from Toronto to Dallas was a difficult task. I left my school, teachers, and friends, and came to a brand new school in a strange city. I was only 7 years old at that time, and I was scared. On that first day, nervously holding my mother's hand, I timidly set foot into a 7-year whirlwind adventure that will abruptly end this evening. My first day in school, I was nervous. My mind raced with many questions, like what if I don't fit in? Or what if the teachers and kids don't like me? But as soon as I walked through the door, kids were introducing themselves and talking to me as if they had known me for years. Eventually, I laughed at how silly I had been for worrying. Before I knew it, I was in the middle of a really great group of kids who always watched out for each other. You all have have really made my years here worthwhile, and I hope we can keep in touch in the many years to come. To you I say, Behatzlacha v'hadam mazaltov, hamashach hadeh. Good luck in the future. Not only were the kids as nice as can be, but so were the teachers. I've also experienced many different styles of teaching and classes. Whether I was learning Hebrew or language arts, the models were the same. Teaching the students in the most effective way and promoting a positive atmosphere in class. Every teacher who ever taught me pulled this task off with ease. I will always remember every one of my teachers. Schechter is a family within itself, and I have felt like a true part of that family. Not only has Schechter taught me what I will need to know in the United States, but it has also shown me much about my religion and homeland, Israel. One day soon, I hope to visit Israel, where I will be able to apply what I've learned from my many years at Schechter. Academically, I feel ready for the challenges I will face in high school. Schechter has also given me a strong feeling of who I am and what my religion is about. Overall, I feel very lucky to have received such a wonderful education. Finally, the time is just right, and the baby birds are now ready to fly to new adventures.
Our next speaker is Daphna Solomon.
אנחנו חבריכם ימים, שפעם שותפה ביחד. משחררת עכשיו לעולם הגדול, להעביר את הבשורה השלום. We, a flock of doves, which once flew together, are now being released to spread peace throughout the world. I keep having visions of leaving the school. And returning only to find my friends, Mimi, Barry, and Jade. For a while I thought it meant that I was leaving alone, but I now believe that it means that when I look back from my
It's a good speech, and you're going to hear it in a minute.
But when I look back on my friends, they will all be here waiting. These past few years at SSA have taught me more than I can explain in a few minutes. I've gained friends and memorable experiences. I've learned so many things. At the time I wrote this speech, I was unsure of my future. I think we all remember the dreadful application process to high school. But other thoughts also crossed my mind. Everything would seem changed for me. Although I haven't been here for 12 years, like many of my friends, I feel as though I have. Solomon Schechter has provided me with so many memories. I just recently looked at my yearbook page that I traded months ago, and I saw how many jokes I had listed. I remembered every one of them and more. This place has become very special to me. I wish I had come here sooner. This unique, protected environment has allowed me to flourish. I would like to thank my parents and teachers who have given me the opportunity to make them proud, and I hope I have succeeded in that regard. To my friends, whom I love in many different ways, we haven't changed as we have aged. We have simply become ourselves. We have proven to be a diverse and strong flock of doves, hopefully strong enough to change the world and diverse enough to keep it unique.
I invite Yael Kahalman to speak.
Having to move on is perhaps the scariest part of a person's life. I have to say that leaving Schechter, my second home, has to be one of the most difficult steps of my life. I have thought a lot about how privileged I am to be able to have gone to such a warm and caring school. Schechter has been my home for all of my childhood and part of my teenage life. The experiences that I have had here are unforgettable. My Schechter memories will be with me wherever I go in years to come. My teachers and peers have made imprints on me that will affect me forever. When I think of leaving Schechter, my heart swells and tears come to my eyes. Though I am confident that I am ready to move on to a new school, I know that I will never find another place as special as this school. I know that I will never hesitate to visit Schechter and that I can always count on my teachers for advice or support. I feel an enormous sense of community at Schechter. Not all kids have the confidence that I have gained from spending many years here. By having the loving support of the Schechter community, I have developed into a better and happier person. Schechter has not only helped my confidence and my academic ability, it has also helped me become a better Jew. Schechter has taught me Jewish values that will help me make decisions in the future. I am proud of being a Jew, and I know that I will always be. I am also grateful for the Hebrew skills which Schechter has taught me. When I go to Israel, Hebrew will come in handy. The most difficult part of leaving Schechter is knowing that after all these years, I won't be coming back. I know that at times my classmates and I haven't always gotten along, but now that I'm leaving, this is the time when I love them the most. Schechter will always be our bond. Mentally and physically, I'm ready to leave, but emotionally, I know that it would be one of the hardest things for me to do. I know that I have to leave, and I don't want to go, but I know that everything will turn out okay. Yihiyeh Tov 10, Rifamim Amin Yishar. I will always hold a special place in my heart for Schechter.
Our next speaker is Daniel Rothstein.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'achianu v'kiyamanu v'hidyanu l'zman hazeh. Thank you, God, for enabling me to reach this day, and for allowing me the opportunity to grow and develop as I begin my new school career. I have spent the last 13 years of my life attending Solomon Schechter Academy. Now, as we move on, you will have to say a large, sad goodbye to all the friends you have come to know. In my mind, I have always pictured this day as one of merriment and celebration. On the contrary, I feel this day is a somber day. We are all leaving so much behind. Solomon Schechter has meant so much to me over the years. It has been like a second home. For the most part, I have been with the same people all my 13 years at Solomon Schechter. We have had fun, learned about life, experienced the worries and advantages of studying at Solomon Schechter, and matured together. I have also been fortunate for the social, spiritual, and academic grounding I've received here at Solomon Schechter. Through my years at Solomon Schechter, I've established a strong value system. The knowledge Solomon Schechter has bestowed upon me will assist me in future decisions. As I confront problems later on in life, I can apply the ethics I have learned here to help guide me along the right path. I plan to give my best efforts toward all challenges that come my way and never stop striving to reach new heights. All my teachers deserve a great big thank you. You guys are really a great group of people. group of people. You were always willing to give extra help when it was needed. In many ways, you showed the students that you cared. Whether it meant being friendly to the students or staying after school to help them. I will have many happy memories of my years at Solomon Schechter. I appreciate all of that this school has done for me. I will miss Solomon Schechter and all of you in the years to come.
I don't know if we're going to get through this. I need each of you sitting in this seat to take a deep breath collectively. Okay, we're going to get through it. The next speaker is Adam Feuerberg, who came to us just last August from El Paso. Adam.
When I moved here, I noticed the differences between El Paso and Dallas. There were tall buildings everywhere. There were so many cars. The streets were packed with so many cars. And so many stores and restaurants appeared at every corner. I had never seen such a commercial area to live in, outside of New York. Then came my first day of school. I was so nervous, I didn't even want to go. I wanted to be back in El Paso. I remembered, however, that I was already here, and that I should already make the best of it. I thought about a chapter in the Torah, Lech Lecha, in which Hashem tells Abraham, Lech Lecha meretzecha al ha'aretz asher arecha. Leave your home and go to the land that I have promised you. That this place, Dallas, was my promised land, and that I belonged to it. I went to school that day and had a great time. I made friends and felt welcome. I also felt that my teachers were truly getting me ready for high school. Those feelings have stayed with me always, through the worst of times and through the best of times. I have faced new challenges and had many new opportunities. But I've only been here for several months. I feel that Solomon Schechter is where I belong.
I invite Sarah Sonnenberg, please.
You lifted me up when I couldn't reach. You gave me faith because you believed. You gave me strength, and I stood tall. I had your love. I had it all. Now, I'm everything I am because you loved me. Celine Dion. Leaving Schechter means more than just going to high school. It means leaving my friends, my childhood, my innocence. Schechter has been my protector, my shield. It has taught me academics, but also life lessons. Not only have I received a great education at Schechter, I've had a great time during these past 4 years. On my first day here in 5th grade, I was so afraid of meeting new people and not fitting in. But instantly, I saw a familiar, very friendly face, and everyone started coming up to me and talking to me. I felt very secure and part of the group. My teachers have always been there with their watchful eyes, their good advice, and their many projects. Whether it was Mrs. McEwen getting me organized and instructing me to learn, Mrs. Jonas making art and history come together in a fun and interesting way, or Mrs. Rifkin looking into my eyes so she could look into our souls. My teachers have always been there every step of the way, to teach, to help, to care. The family at Schechter is incredible, and I know I'll miss all school Shabbats most of all. There were so many children singing together, the little ones eager to learn, and we older kids having a great time, arms wrapped around the kindergartners on our laps. Rabbi Stern would tell a story. Mrs. Ritterband would get up on the bima and dance, and we would all get into the Shabbat spirit. by watching the whole Schechter community. I now have so much enthusiasm and interest in Judaica. I'm proud of being a Jew. I've learned to speak Hebrew, write papers, ask questions, lead services, read Torah, and learn from the Torah. One incident still rings clear by my mind. When I was in 6th grade and helping write a song in both Hebrew and English version, Mrs. Cohen, our teacher, walked over to me and said, At Yadat Yachris Tov Tov, Gam Be'Anglit, V'Gam Be'Ivrit, which means, you know how to write well both in Hebrew and English. The words were few, and the meaning seemed small at the time, but it was that boost of confidence and the inspiration of my 3 English teachers, Mrs. Schwartz, Mrs. Rosenzweig, and Mrs. Geffen, to help make me who I am today. I can't thank enough people enough times for these past 4 years. So I'll just say the Hebrew word that means both goodbye and peace, shalom. And the heartwarming word, boys to men. We've shared so many memories, but we will still shine after the rain. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
I invite Leora Baruch to speak next, and she will get through this.
The colors of passages. As my canvas and paint stand before me, I realize that the paintbrushes are of all sizes and textures. I begin to paint, realizing that something is missing, an inspiration. I suddenly remember my past 12 years at Solomon Schechter. The warmth, care, love, hugs and kisses that the teachers and staff have given me. With the knowledge that I won't be able to return to my home away from home next fall, I know that I have found my inspiration. Solomon Schechter has become my piece of art. To paint my friends, I need to use vibrant colors, reminding me of the gleaming sun and my special friends. My family. I can confide in them when I'm somber, angry, or laughing uncontrollably. No matter what my situation, I know that each one will support me with advice and love. We have made special memories over the best years of our lives. In order to paint my teachers, I find shades of purple and blue, reminding me of a blanket that encompasses all their warmth. I will never forget their advice and encouragement, helping me become the best that I can be. From teaching morality to raising self-esteem, they have helped me grow from a little girl into a young woman. With their help, I now have the knowledge, experience, and confidence to carry me into the 9th grade. Although leaving this nurturing school is frightening, I leave with strong, solid life lessons to help me find success. Thank you so much for being my guide. In Pirkei Avot we read, Yeshua ben Parchia Omer, Osela Hara v'koneh lecha chaver. Yeshua ben Parchia said, set up a teacher for yourself and get yourself a companion. At Solomon Schechter, I have found my teachers and I have also found my friends. To illustrate the scene of Solomon Schechter, I would select a watercolor base. Watercolors blend together, just as Solomon Schechter also includes all of us. Because my siblings are much older than I and no longer live with me, my Schechter family has filled the gap during Shabbats and holidays. I will always remember and feel a part of its music and celebrations. As most of you know, this has been a tragic year for my family. 2 dear people, my beloved grandmother and my sister-in-law, were taken from us. Schechter helped me realize that no matter what my situations I'm in, all my friends are always present to offer support and love. To paint this next part of my canvas, I need a broad paintbrush, one that shows Schechter's great generosity. I would use a fan brush to show his long rays reaching outward, the arms that have enveloped me for the past 12 years. I would also use light pastel colors to show Schechter's gentleness, baby pink, lemon yellow, and the minty green to name a few. To paint myself, I would use the color green, representing youth and innocence. It seems that only yesterday we were finger painting and playing in the sandbox. Like a new suit of paint, which is solid, strong, and fresh, I must now move on to new canvases, leaving behind so many magical scenes that have captured my heart. My painting might now seem complete, but it is not. My feelings for Solomon Schechter lie deep within my heart. A part of me will always belong to Schechter.
invite Becca Hurlstein to speak next.
Achrenim kavar karo, ulai kavar karo kayom, shall be most frida. How the years flew by, now the end draws near, I'm haunted by the farewell tear. While reading some of my old books recently, I picked up one of my favorites and suddenly began to cry. It was then that I realized what a perfect metaphor it would be for my feelings about leaving Schechter. That book happens to be The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. The book describes the relationship between a boy and a tree throughout the years. The tree, always providing its branches, shade, and apples for freedom, protection, and even sustenance. After a lifetime, the two are reunited, and the tree has nothing left to offer except its stump for the old man to rest upon. That in itself is enough to make the tree happy. This book reminds me of my times at Schechter, and more so of my times to come. The people here have always been willing to give me whatever they have to ensure my success. From preschool through middle school, I received hugs, life skills, and encouragement to help me come out on top. To Lois, my protector, I love you so much. Thank you for all the great advice and cool band-aids. To Mrs. Geffen, thanks for teaching me many lessons and helping me figure out the kind of person I want to be. To Rabbi Stern, thank you for making me see that to become someone in this world, I do not need to change myself in any way. To my teachers, you have truly changed my life. As we look back on the years we have spent together, I think of the Giving Tree's message of friendship. For me, the hardest part about leaving Schechter is the friends. Only now have I realized that I am losing my brothers and sisters. The things that I have always looked forward to about these people will soon be gone. I have become closer to a number of people, and I wish that now I had more time to get to know my friends. I thank you for all the times you have given me. I'm going to miss you. I love you guys. Schechter, thank you for being my special Giving Tree. I hoped I would never have to say this, but the time has come much too fast. Through the tears, I say goodbye.
Our next speaker is Jill Mikukovsky.
While reflecting upon my years at Solomon Schechter, I have come to view my life at this school as one would observe a play. Every aspect, the characters, setting, and plot, have molded my past and also established my future. In Act 1, all of the characters were introduced. The personalities that would later develop shared together in laughter, friendship, and learning. The surroundings were playful. Small chairs, playground, costumes, swab-out tables, songs and stories, building blocks, birthday cakes, and warm, nurturing teachers. Preschool was the beginning of excitement, education, and Jewish studies. As Act 2 began, some characters exited the stage, but many more remained. Everyone welcomed the new students, and teachers began to enlighten our minds and enforce an effective moral system. The scenario was enjoyable, yet serious, with many fascinating activities, studies, and companionship. The setting now changed to Foursquare games, clubs, choir, school plays, and our first Sidor. We always learned from any conflicts which developed. As the performance continued, everyone was ready for a greater level of wisdom. We had graduated from our elementary years. Act 2 began with a slight change of setting, but everyone easily adjusted. The rising action began when students enjoyed exploring new levels of learning. Many responsibilities were enforced, based upon trust and respect, amongst God, ourselves, and others. There were adventures in classes, with organizations, at bar and bat mitzvah celebrations, on ropes courses, and on the Texas history trip. Everyone came to a better understanding of the primary reasons we had listened for this play: our Judaism, education, and life experiences. The climax of our play began 9 months ago. Students had many more responsibilities, opportunities, and privileges. We were the major players, role models, the epitome of Schechter. We had earned our place as authorities of Solomon Schechter. We were able to flash back to the previous scenes and reminisce. Everything went smoothly, but too fast. Now, the denouement has finally arrived. Although this moment means saying farewell to the school community, I am sure we will all return for a sequel as alumni. We will turn our separate ways and have varying futures, yet we will leave with the same feeling, a strong sense of values, friendship, trust, respect, love for Judaism, and knowledge. The most significant lesson I have learned as a participant in our Solomon Schechter play is the importance of questioning. At every age, I was taught not to look at things at their face value, but rather to constantly challenge every aspect of life. Just as Abraham questioned God in the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. Hinena Hawalti Ledaber al Adonai Nochi Afar Ve'eser. We must stand up for who we are and for what we believe to be set up, to be just and right. Only then can we take our place in this world of ours. This school has succeeded in preparing me just perfectly for my place in the future. I thank you, Solomon Schechter, for sharing your wisdom and friendships with me. What a wonderful play.
Our next speaker is Jacqueline Gardner.
I've tried many times to organize my graduation speech, but every time I failed. It seemed as though no words could express how I feel about Schechter. I needed some inspiration. I sat for many hours tearing away at old yearbooks and photo albums. As I stared into the familiar faces, I realized why the tears in my eyes had begun to form. Those motionless people weren't just my classmates. They were my friends. Friends I never again see running through the halls. Friends I no longer remind about upcoming tests or papers. Friends I do not eat with anymore. Friends who define my past, savor the present, and affect my future. As I stared down at the puddle of memories by my feet, I realized that the past 12 years at Schechter have not just been about books and grades. They have been about inner growth and sharing a common bond with others, the relevance of Judaism. Schechter has taught me more than I'll ever learn anywhere else. With the guidance of my teachers and through the support of my friends, I've realized the impact the school has had on us and the change we are all about to endure. I'm trying very hard to hide the tears that are fighting to flow down my cheeks. In a way, I wish that I were not here tonight. I wish this were all a dream, and in a way that this graduation were not taking place. Maybe, if I were not here, I'd still be a student at Solomon Schechter Academy. But here we are, and tonight we're going to walk out these doors that have sheltered us for so many years, and leave with memories. Perhaps the greatest lesson Schechter has instilled in me is, Al Talef Lefanai, Yitahen Relo Ahal Lef Al Talef Aharai, Yitahen Relo Ahal Nahi Rak Le Today, Here Li Hal Haver. Don't walk in front of me, I may not follow. Don't walk behind me, I may not lead. Just walk beside me and be my friend. Together we will walk in the path of Hashem. I've never really been able to define love, but I am now certain that the school, my teachers, and my friends define it perfectly.
Our next speaker is Leon Ninovich.
Solomon Schechter Academy has been a great part of my life for a very long time. I hate to just leave it, especially after all the great times I've had here with my teachers and friends. The reason I'm having such a hard time leaving this wonderful school is because no one person at Solomon Schechter has just one friend. Even the teachers. We're all one big happy family that care about each and every person. To everyone who's a part of Solomon Schechter, I'd like to say thank you very much. You've made it the most desirable school anyone could ask for. There's a popular Israeli song that begins, Al hadvash ve'al ha'okef, al hamar ve'hamatzot. On the honey and on the sting, on the bitter and on the sweet. Leaving Solomon Schechter is both bitter and sweet. I'll miss you.
The person who came the furthest to spend the 8th grade year with us, and what a treat on the 50th anniversary of the State of Israel to have a Sabra. Tell us now.
Although I moved from Israel only 1 year ago, I've gotten to know most of the people in Solomon Schechter during my short time here. I can't describe in words how I feel about leaving Schechter. I've written a short story which expresses my feelings about leaving a place where I've spent most of my life and moving to a different part of the planet. Dogs I've loved. Once there was a little boy, and that boy had a dog. After they had known each other for a few long times, they became best friends. The little boy grew bigger, and the dog grew with him. The dog and the boy were soon closer than ever. Suddenly the dog became really sick, and the boy knew that the dog's time had come. The boy was sad and lonely, but then he found a new dog. At first, the boy did not like the idea of having a different dog, but he soon learned to love the new pet. The boy realized that new things are not that bad. The boy and the dog learned to love each other, and they became close friends, just like he had been with his old dog. Todah l'chol hamorim v'hatלמידים. I want to thank all teachers and friends for great years.
He spoke no English when he entered here last August. I call Greg Talmanson as our next speaker.
Solomon Schechter Academy is a 12-step program. Each step represents a different grade level, from the 2-year-olds to the 8th grade, each one having a special meaning. From learning how to pronounce the alphabet to learning how to read and write, everything has its significance. Over the years, as we mature, so does Schechter. As 2-year-olds, we experienced our first step away from our parents. As 3- and 4-year-olds, we became more independent, getting ready for the next step, kindergarten. With kindergarten, we learned our ABCs, how to read and write, add and subtract. We also began studying Hebrew. Our days grew longer, from 8 to 2:30. First grade days were 8 to 3. And we continued adding more complexity to our education. In 2nd and 3rd grade, we learned multiplication, division, and cursive. As 4th graders, we were the head of the elementary school, with more responsibilities, eager to get to the next step of our life, middle school. To us, middle school was a whole new world. More teachers, longer hours, and we moved from one place to another. When we actually got to 5th grade, it was a unique experience compared to elementary school. All during middle school, we awaited 8th grade when we would be the head of the entire school. That meant that we would have special privileges and more power than ever before. We also cannot wait until our graduation day, today. Looking back at the past, I recognize that I will always remember the significance Solomon Schechter has had upon us. After today, we will each reach a new step in our life, moving on to a new place. However, we will always recall our memorable times at Solomon Schechter. Zacher Hayamim HaTovim.
Our next speaker is Sarah Jared Wolf.
Today, after 11 very interesting years, I am able to look back and smile. Smile at my teachers and their patience. Smile at my memories, and smile at my friends. These past years, I have to admit, I never fully appreciated Schechter. I always awaited the days coming to an end. The year always rushed by, and I looked forward to the next year with new friends, or just the same ones. As I wonder what I will have to look forward to next year, I know it'll never compare to Schechter. Most of me wants to stay put, stay where I understand what's going on, stay where I'm familiar with the faces, hallways, and classes. I want to remain in my place here. I don't want to give up this part of my life, that I've reached this last step. I realize, while I'm at the edge, that I have one foot placed firmly on the ground and the other shaking in midair. I'm hesitant to take that extra jump and face awkward and frightening areas. I want to be able to stand on both grounds, to move ahead, but hold in my heart a special place for Schechter always. I will take with me the thoughts of Kol ha'olam kulo, gesher tsar me'od, the ha'ikar lo lefached klal. The world is a very narrow bridge, but the main thing is not to be afraid. I look around at all my friends and at the everyday faces and expressions that I've known for so many years now, and I'm overwhelmed with sadness and regret to finally be at this stage. The teachers that have watched me grow up, past preschool, elementary, and now middle school, are the ones who have brought out every characteristic, good and bad, from each of us. After tonight, I will walk out of this room, through the doors, and away from Schechter. Although I have been afraid that when I leave, I wouldn't have a reason to come back. I know now that I will never leave Schechter completely. I once thought this day would never come, and now it has come all too soon.
I invite Lynn Silverman to speak next.
Preschool was so much fun. We baked cakes and played out in the sun. We went from the playful twos to the busy threes, zooming through the years like little bees. We danced, sang songs, and played. Oh, what delicious snacks we made. The toys and games we learned to share. If someone got hurt, we knew how to care. Elementary came and went, but time with my friends was well spent. All alone, I was moved to a new school. I didn't feel too cool. I settled and was happy for several years. I played games and learned some cheers. Compared to SFA, it was not the same. Returning in 5th grade, I was back in the game. Finally, in middle school, I was happy to be. To say to my friends, long time no see. We had many fights, as older kids do, but I always said, I'm sorry, you can come with me too. I've had great friends through the laughter and the tears, the fun and the fights, and even the fears. So many memories to cherish. They're in my heart and will never perish. I'm sad to leave my teachers and friends, but like all good things, this has come to an end.
I invite Stephen Nosnick as our next speaker.
Today I say goodbye to Schechter as well as friends. I will miss Schechter and everything it has given to me. I will miss all the memories, the friends, and the teachers. Here at Schechter, I have made the best kind of friends that anyone could have. I also have made friends who are teachers who will never be forgotten. They will always stay in my heart. Most of my memories have happened in preschool because of the way we looked back then, especially me. I was known for having a big ball of curly hair. I remember Lois, Shabbat, and Sabbat services where we all dressed up and the times we played house. I would like to thank Solomon Schechter for all it has given me, which is more than anyone can ask for. One thing is for certain, that when we leave here today, we will all walk away from something that will never ever be replaced as long as we live. As Tavi sang in the song, Hayu Yamim Chaver, Achan Hatu Maher. Ratanu Razimakenu Yaha Lahai. Lachamnu Nilchama. Halamnot Halamot. Hayinu Seirim. Hayat Hadai. Those were the days, my friend, but they passed swiftly. We danced and sang. We fought wars. We dreamt dreams. We were young. It was worth it.
Our next speaker is Michael Zazarski.
It seems that every day this year has gone by in a second. Just 9 weeks ago, my friends pointed out to me that there were 3.5 actual weeks of work left. The other 6 weeks would be spent on studying for Passover, preparing for finals, and going on a New York trip, and practicing for graduation. When I first came to Solomon Schechter in the 7th grade, everybody wanted the year to be over. But this year, most people have wanted to stay. I have probably spent more time at Schechter than at my own house, because school has been so interesting. I'm sure that I'm not the only one who's going to miss Schechter's refrigerator, lunch, and recess. I have always felt that the teachers really seemed to know what they were talking about. My classes have been very interesting, and we have good discussions. My favorite subject has been history because of our wonderful teacher, Mrs. Kibble. I am so athletic. I always have liked gym, and even gotten an A in it every quarter. Although I imagine that all the teachers will throw a party after we leave, I will have many fond memories of my caring teachers, Mrs. Kibble and Mrs. Geppen. You have both gone above and beyond to help me. Thank you very much. What does the future hold? There's a Jewish saying, Hazak, Hazak, V'nit Hazek, from strength to strength. I've gotten a strong Jewish education at Schechter, and next year I plan on attending Yavne Academy. In this way, I will build up upon the Jewish foundation that I've begun here. I hope next year's 8th grade trip will be as fun as rewarding as ours has been, and that the new 8th grade will take good care of Solomon Schechter for us.
I invite Julia Monheim to speak.
I always dreamt of being in the 8th grade. I couldn't wait to be the oldest, the leaders of the school. I waited for the New York and Washington trips, and I even looked forward to final exams. But now, as I stand here today, graduating, I can't believe that I will never return to these familiar hallways as a student. I will never again sit in the desks of the school that gave me a place to learn, a place to play, and a place willing to give me all of the gifts that it had to offer. I was always surrounded by a loving and caring environment that comes naturally with a small school. I had teachers who were there for me, and with whom I could develop relationships. At school, I had my friends, who mean the world to me. As I think about these things, I know that I don't want to leave. But wanting to leave and being ready to leave are two different things. I don't want to go, but I know that the time has come and that I'm ready for it. I find it very hard, however, to part with a place who has been so much a part of my life for 9 years. I wrote a poem some time ago that applies more to Schechter than to anything else that I can think of. A feeling engulfs me as a shiver travels up my spine. I remember. I remember the laughter, I remember the joy, the days of never-ending bliss. I remember the tears, I remember the loss, the pain of the last hug and kiss. Will I remember, I ask, tell me please, why is it that what I love now has to leave? I think of the days of carefree friends, remembering cheerful blue skies. The tears of loneliness slowly begin to well up in my eyes. And sadder still, since I wanted to stay, I cry to see those days slowly slipping away. Leaving is difficult, but I know that I will always have the values that Schechter has given me. Schechter taught me never to give up, and now I know, Ani ve'ata neshaneh ha'olam, that you and I can change the world.
Acharon Chaviv, our last speaker, Daniel Stolarski.
I am also one of those people who has been at Solomon Schechter for my entire life. And even though it is school, this place is my second home. My first year was the first time I had ever left my mom, and I had never spoken English. Lois asked my mom several times if I was mute. And my mom said that the only reason I did not talk was because I did not know the language. The next few years in preschool were good, but how could they not be? All we did was play. Then I went to kindergarten, the hard stuff. Being at school for 2.5 hours longer than preschool. It was a difficult adjustment, but I soon learned a lot of things. Reading, writing, which today is not even good, and arithmetic. On to first grade, where the school day was extended another half hour. Why, I asked myself. Mrs. Gallers was a good teacher, and I soon realized the extra half hour was to learn Hebrew and Judaica. The rest of elementary school went by rapidly, and I learned the basics. Then came 5th grade and middle school, the top section of the school I had been at for so long. It was great. We changed rooms so often that it seemed the day was shorter, even though it was half an hour longer. The 6th grade was good with all my best friends in my classes, but basically everybody is family, so it's hard not to be happy. This year has been great because most of my friends are in my classes, and we have some 8th grade privileges. Now that my career here is finally over, I want to leave, but I know St. Mark's is going to be quite different. I hope it will compare to Schechter. I know you have heard a lot of thank yous, so I'm going to give mine quickly. I would like to thank all my teachers here at Solomon Schechter, and I would also like to thank my parents for sending me here. And I only have one thing to say. Shalom, Chaverim. Shalom.
We've come to that part of the exercises where there is going to be a class gift made to the school, and today's gift is being given by Yael Kahonik. I'm going to ask Mr. Alan Pizer, President of the School Board, to accept the gift.
Last week, the 8th grade experienced a trip of a lifetime visiting Washington, D.C. and New York City. While we were at the Jewish Museum in New York, we picked out this mezuzah created by the artist Ludwig Yehuda Walpert. It will be displayed on the door of Beit Aryeh in an expression of our gratitude to Solomon Schechter Academy. Thank you.
On behalf of the board of Solomon Schechter, we thank you for your gift. We wish you mazel tov and wish you well in your future endeavors. And we'd like to think that while you may be leaving Schechter, Schechter will not be leaving you. Again, we wish you mazel tov and good luck for the future.
L'dor v'dor, from generation to generation. This is one of many times that I am so glad that this phrase holds such a place of significance in our lives. It allows us to focus on those who came before us and those who are yet to come. The picture to the left of the graduates, your right, was designed by our art teacher, Veronique Jonas, and has the signature of every Schechter graduate on it. And that includes the names of all of tonight's graduates. From this point forward, it will serve as a reminder of the wonderful individuals seated before you tonight. Bright, spirited, strong, and yet fragile, funny, full of personality, and everything a graduating class truly should be. Like those in my life who I hold most dear, They are not perfect, but they are truly wonderful. We were blessed to have them with us at our school, and they, like those before them, will always be a part of our family. And like all family members, we love them very much. We have great hopes and expectations for them and look forward to their numerous achievements as they venture forth. Just remember, we love you, we'll miss you, we're proud of you, and you will never be far from our hearts.
We're about to present some gifts and the diplomas to the young people sitting in front of you. As I introduced the class of 23 students, I did identify the new guys who came this year, and I'm one of them. But there were a lot in this group who came along the way. This afternoon I went through the list because I wanted to know how many people Lois Davidson, my dear colleague, who is the administrator of the preschool, had initiated into the beauty and warmth and family of Schechter. And you all now know how many of them. What this class gave me, and I was the new guy, was their interest and my opportunity to teach so that we could learn together. This year, we were able to change the 8th grade curriculum. Mrs. Weinberg let us change it. And Rabbi Weinberg taught an introduction to conservative Judaism, and in the second half, an introduction to Christianity and Islam. And I taught some topics in Holocaust studies, and then the introduction to modern Israel. What better way to teach? But what better students? I haven't found them. So that although I'm supposed to be the person under full control here, and I did help to control hysterical laughter and hysterical crying, I'm pretty shaky too because this is my first year and this is my class. So I say thank you. These students are going to get diplomas, which are signed by Mr. Pizer and by me. They're in Hebrew and in English. There are no tests on the Hebrew side, but you should all be able to read them, even our names in Hebrew. In addition to that gift, which is the one that they earned, they are each going to receive a book on Jewish values and lore from a wonderful person who today, as part of his volunteer work at Schechter, was removing staples from the wall. But he has served you pizza, and he has served you spaghetti, and he has read to you because he is a model volunteer in the school. And Mr. Saul Kaplan has wanted to make a contribution to your life and experience, and he has given you a book. For the first time, the PA, the Parents Association, the partners of the administration in this school, have given the seniors, I'm used to my high schools, but to the 8th graders a gift. So there will be a gift which is practical, useful, and given with love. And it will be given to you by Mrs. Susie Mondry, who is completing her 2-year term as president of the Parents Association of Solomon Schechter Academy. Mr. Pizer and Mrs. Rosenzweig will also join in, and we will be joined by the person who has single-handedly made sure that your Jewish education in the middle school is fine, appropriate, meaningful. Mother Weinberg. Wendy Weinberg, who was one of your chaperones, is responsible for everything good that took place this evening and all the rest of it. And we thank her, and she will participate. And if I may be permitted, There's another little thing. It's a token for me from Yerushalayim, actually from Ir Kodesh, as you go forward. So I have no idea how we're going to do this. So if the participants will come up and Wendy tell us how we're supposed to do it, we will do it. Mrs. Mondry, Mr. Pizer, and Mr. Kaplan, please. And now, to be very fair, the last ones are not going to go last anymore. We're going to call you up. Now, which way do they want? And you're going to go down and get your gift, please. The first person I'm calling is Becca Pearlstein. Leora Baruch. Leora. Sarah Steinberg. Sarah. Adam Feuerberg. Yosef Adam. Daniel Rothstein. Danielle. Yael Kahalnik, Yael. Daphna Salomon, Daphna. Stacy Masoff, Shifra. Ben Austin, Binyamin. Daniel Lifshin, Danielle. Tracy Bear, Chava. Shelley Banjo, Shelley. Michael Bazarski, Michael. Julia Bonheim, Simcha. Daniel Stolarski, Danielle. Greg Kelmanson, Danielle. Sarah Garan Wolf, Sarah. Lynn Silverman, Leah. Stephen Nosnik, Nehemiah Asher. Jill Mijakovsky, Ariel. Jacqueline Gardner, Yakova. Leon Minovich, Doron. Tal Tutnauer, Tal. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 1998. And because you are standing, it is the most appropriate time for us together to recite the Shechianu. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shechianu, v'kiyamanu, v'higianu, Osman Hazeh. Will you join us, please, in the singing of Hatikva?
Graduates, you look much more awake than when I last saw you sprawled across the airplane as we embarked in Dallas, Texas. This Shabbat of your graduation week is Shabbat Bamidbar. The Torah portion for your graduation week begins to recount the wanderings of the Israelites as they journeyed across the wilderness of Sinai. It's not going to be that long, but please enjoy yourself. You can stand. You remain standing. You have to work a little longer. For years, the Israelites wandered. They bickered with Moses, their leader. They pleaded with him to let them return to Egypt. They were thirsty. They were tired of walking. They wanted clean clothes. They became rather contentious at times. I knew that you would appreciate this connection with this story on the week of your graduation, because it would remind you of your wandering aimlessly, following your fearless leader through the wilderness of Little Italy and Chinatown and the Lower East Side and Soho and the Village. You became tired and thirsty and a bit contentious, and you wanted to go home to your hotel. But we, like the Israelites, had a mission, and with perseverance, we reached our destination. Graduates, life itself is a journey. And with the conclusion of the 8th grade at your school, Solomon Schechter, one of those stages of your life closes. You move on to the next stage now, but you carry with you from your first stage something that will guide your lifetime journey. You have received a compass. In Hebrew, we call it a morashah, an inheritance that you worked for, an inheritance that you acquired. As you keep your compass aligned properly, you too will reach your final destination, accompanied by a Jewish set of values to guide you, to inspire you, and to give you real comfort. Don't forget to look at that compass. Don't forget to let your Jewish soul speak to you while you are in your various non-Jewish environments. Let that compass remind you of the wonderfully warm and enriching years that you were afforded at this, your school. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha, Yisa Adonai panav elecha, Yasem lecha shalom. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he cause his countenance to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May he lift up his spirit unto each of you and grant you a wonderful journey, a wonderful lifetime journey filled with love, filled with learning, and filled with peace, with shalom. Together we say, Amen. I invite everyone to please rise.